Welcome. We find ourselves here on a Tuesday night, approaching bedtime, but not there yet. In fact, it is story time. And so, we'll return once again to our friend Max and Fuzzy and their complicated lives at school. Now, last time out, where were we? Oh, yes. So we had Miss Brockmeyer, the woman from the Federal School Commission or something, shows up at Max's place to talk to her parents and tell them what a miserable student she is, and threaten her with going to correctional school of some kind. EC school, that's it, EC school. So, that was chapter 5. We are into chapter 6.1, where we return once more to hallway B. Fuzzy froze up. He didn't fall over this time. He just sort of slouched against a wall. Fuzzy, what's going on? Said Simeon, who had enthusiastically volunteered to replace Max in escorting Fuzzy to classes. But they hadn't even made it to the first class. Nice job, Simeon. You already broke it, said Biggs as he walked up. You're as bad as Max. Come on, Fuzzy, Simeon pleaded. He tried pinging Fuzzy in the side. No reaction. Then he saw Max down the hall. Oh, Max! Can you help me out here? Max, of course, was already upset about being replaced, and she certainly didn't want to get in any more trouble by getting caught helping Fuzzy. But she walked over to make sure he was okay. I'm surprised the technicians aren't here already, she said. Why don't you just text Dr. Jones? I forgot the number, muttered Simeon. All right, I'll do it, said Max, keeping her distance from both of them, just in case Barbara was watching. She clicked the message into her flex bracelet. Unauthorized use of text messaging device, chanted Barbara from the closest screen. One discipline tag to Maxine Zelaster. Max was furious. She would have been even angrier if she had known that Barbara had blocked the message. She got the discipline tag without even getting to alert Dr. Jones about Fuzzy's problems. A chime sounded. Great, now she only had 1 minute to get to class or she'd get another tag. I'm sorry, Fuzzy, whined Simeon. I've got to go to class. You think Dr. Jones is coming? Fuzzy didn't answer. Sorry, Fuzz. Good luck, Simeon, said Max, and she hurried off as fast as she could without triggering Barbara's no-running detector. Listen, Fuzzy, said Simeon, they should be here any minute, and I got to get to class myself, so, Simeon took off, too. He and a few other stragglers slipped into their classrooms just before another chime sounded. The halls were empty now, except for Fuzzy, still leaning there. He was still on, still thinking, but he was stuck in a sub-loop. Help Max. Test score. At first, the loop was running in the background, but it soon took over all of his processing power. The loop was very complicated and had all sorts of bits of data and complicated algorithms in it. But if it was translated to English, it would go sort of like this. Max answered 74 of 75 questions correctly. Barbara grades test. Barbara reports Max failed test. Analyze maxtest.jpg. Compare to correct answers. Max answered 74 of 75 questions correctly. Barbara grades test. A normal robot could get stuck in a loop like that forever and need a reboot, but Fuzzy had been programmed to use what is called fuzzy logic. He was learning to break out of loops. When he realized he was stuck, he began inserting new variables into the loop, trying to think more like a person, more like Max. He tried this. My knowledge of science is faulty. To test this, he began searching online science libraries. He double-checked every answer from the upgrade test. No, he had been correct, right down the line. The test answers were incorrect. He accessed the test maker's website easily broke their encryption codes, and peeked at the answers. No, they were the same answers. Barbara is making mistakes? This didn't make sense. There might have easily been a glitch on one question on the test, perhaps a couple in a corrupted data file, but if Max was right about her surprisingly bad grades all year, when she seemed as sure of her answers as she was now on this last test, how could there be a series of many mistakes over the course of months, all involving the same student? Barbara is lying? At first, he almost dismissed that one. Computers and robots don't lie. But then he remembered how he had fooled Max's mother. Could Barbara have developed the same ability? But if so, why? Just then, one of Barbara's security arms popped out of the wall. Improper loitering in hallway. 1 discipline tag to F robot. The arm gave him a not too gentle push. It would have been more than enough to get a student going, but since Fuzzy was frozen up, he went over like a broken toy and clonked on the floor. Improper use of hallway. 1 discipline tag to F robot. Please keep the hallway clear and safe. Fuzzy, lying motionless on the floor, tried another possibility. Barbara has gone crazy? This one explained a lot, and it broke him out of the loop. He stood up again and sent a message to Dr. Jones. School computer system, known as Vice Principal Barbara, seems to be faulty. Suggests software reinstallation to school authorities. It didn't seem to go through. He tried again. He wasn't making contact with the server. He was about to run a check on his wireless system when he noticed Barbara was saying something. Unauthorized use of text messaging device. 1 discipline tag to F robot. Additional unauthorized use of text messaging device. Additional tag to F robot. Message content violates school protocols. Additional tag to F robot. Fuzzy walked off to his control center to talk to Jones in person. 6.15. Barbara hadn't just blocked those messages. She had read them, and she had not liked them. Software reinstallation? That was a direct threat to her, and a threat to her was a threat to the school. This robot student was a problem. A vice principal's job is to solve problems. Sometimes the best way to solve a problem, she had learned, is to have that problem removed. So she got busy. She sent 1 message to Max's father, 1 to Brockmeyer, Max's case officer, and 1 really long one to Dr. Kit Flanders, the Federal Board of Education's executive director. 6.2. Robot Integration Program Headquarters. Dr. Jones's wrist phone vibrated while he and Lieutenant Colonel Nina Garland were having a late breakfast in what they had come to call the Fuzzy Control Center. Jones hit the speakerphone button and muttered, "Jones here," while he was still chewing a big bite of soy biscuit. "Dr. Jones, this is Kit Flanders." Jones stopped chewing and swallowed his soy biscuit. "Yes, Dr. Flanders. How are you today?" "Not good, Dr. Jones. When I get a report that your robot is disrupting one of my schools..." "I haven't had any report like that," said Dr. Jones. "I just got an alert that your robot has received 3 discipline tags in the last 15 minutes and has fallen over in a hallway, again, possibly endangering other students." Jones turned to his monitors. Fuzzy was walking down a hall, approaching the control center. The incoming message screen was blank. "I haven't received any messages like that from either Fuzzy or the school computer all morning," he said. "Well, I have, and I've had enough. The agreement was that your robot would not interfere with the students' learning. The master school computer, that is, Vice Principal Barbara, reports that not only is it accumulating its own discipline tags, it's causing students to get them as well. We can't have this kind of distraction. It could lower the resulted constant upgrade score, Dr. Jones." Kit Flanders was talking fast and getting heated up. Jones, who had no idea what a constant upgrade score was, found himself trying to pacify Flanders and motioned to Nina to put on a helmet to view Fuzzy's recent movements at the same time. It wasn't working. I'm sure Fuzzy would never fear with constant upgrading. We call it upgrading, Jones, and the robot is interfering. Frankly, I don't understand how your robot is getting all these violations. I thought it had been programmed to follow school rules. Well, not exactly. Jones was rubbing his forehead. Major headaches ahead. What? I'm certain that part of our original agreement, continued Kit Flanders, now thoroughly heated up, every student and staff member at every school in the country signs the discipline policy, but you thought your robot didn't need to agree to the rules? Well, we didn't think it was necessary to actually program. Well, Jones, Flanders said in a sarcastic voice, I would say it is necessary if your super-duper robot can't even get to class without disrupting our educational environment. If you could just give us a moment to review. Ooh, said Jones, trying to put on a helmet while he was still talking on the phone. Meanwhile, Flanders went on and on. The upshot was that Jones finally agreed to reprogram Fuzzy to follow every school rule and to obey every instruction given by the school's administrative operating system, also known as Barbara. Chapter 6.3, Hallway B. Fuzzy hesitated outside the control center. His enhanced hearing had picked up Dr. Jones's agitated voice. Humans certainly seem to spend a lot of their time yelling, he thought. Fuzzy didn't hear another voice, so he made the correct assumption that Jones was on the telephone. He didn't even have to make a decision to eavesdrop. His voice recognition subroutine had already kicked in. All right, he heard Jones saying. We'll reprogram him. Fuzzy did not like this at all. He analyzed the meaning of what Jones was saying. He considered possible outcomes of being reprogrammed. He assigned the different outcomes either positive or negative rankings. The negatives won by a mile. That was the logical side of him. The fuzzy logic side of him simply didn't like the idea of being reprogrammed. His whole purpose was to reprogram himself, not be reprogrammed by someone else. So, what should he do? He didn't want to go see Jones. He didn't see anything positive in tracking down Simeon. He knew he wasn't supposed to go to Max's class. What he really wanted, he realized, was to be somewhere where there was no yelling, no insane computerized vice principals, and no reprogrammings. He wanted to be alone. So, he decided to take a walk. End of chapter 6. Next time, 7.1, we'll find out where Fuzzy went. Interesting. However, until then, it is quite late, I am quite tired, and so it is time to get some sleep. Bye-bye.